Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna have a bit of a reading vlog for the weekend. Today's Saturday for me, and I want to start the day by finishing my book. I am currently reading One Perfect Couple, and this is a new book by Ruth. I feel like books by her for me are hit or miss. So this one so far, the first like 50% was a tiny bit slow, but now we're really getting into it. Kind of is similar vibes to And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. So this is what I'm going to be reading first and foremost. We do have about 2.5 hours left of the book, so we are very close to finishing. But overall in this vlog, I just want to spend some time this weekend reading. On Sunday, it's Father's Day, so obviously I'll do a little less reading then, but overall just want to like spend some time outside. It's supposed to be beautiful. Today it's going to be in the 90s. I also want to give some love to Kingdom of Ash because, as you guys know, I've been reading the Throne of Glass series, and Kingdom of Ash is the last in the series, but I have been struggling a little bit to get through it. I initially was going to read that one all the way through and then get to One Perfect Couple because this one is my book club book for this month. We're meeting next week, but I just felt like I was gonna get in a slump. So, oh, he just found a really big stick. I don't know where he got that from, but he has joined me. So because we're clearly going to be finishing this, I have a few other books that I've been wanting to read. Obviously, I really want to read Emily Henry's Funny Story. I have not had a chance to get to that. I think it came out in April, and normally I'm like immediately read it the second it comes out, the day that it comes out, like ready to go. But for some reason this year, I haven't been able to actually dive into it yet. So I want to read that. And I also downloaded, what's it called? Powerful, which is the novella to Powerless. So I think the next book is going to be called Reckless, if I'm not mistaken. So that's actually the second book in that series. But there's a little novella from another character's perspective who is like the main character's best friend. So those are all of the things that I'm thinking about reading or like diving into this weekend. First and foremost though, let's get started with One Perfect Couple. I have the 2.5 hours left, so I'm gonna go read, have some coffee, and we're gonna start our weekend of reading. I didn't really tell you guys what this book is about, so I just read the synopsis so that I don't accidentally give any spoilers. Obviously, I don't know how it ends yet, but basically, it's like imagine characters from Love Island are going to the show, and when they get to the island, there's a storm, and they're cut off from everybody. Like, no producers are on the island. Basically, only the contestants are there, and they have to band together to survive, essentially, and like hope that some kind of like boat comes by or something like that, but they're just like stuck on the stranded island. The synopsis also says that there's a killer amongst them, and I feel like this is more of like a psychological thriller than it is like a thriller. I don't know if that makes any sense, but really the whole time you're feeling a lot of suspense and like hoping and wanting the characters to just like act a certain way and watching them not do the things that they should do, and you're just like, what is happening? So there have been quite a few times, especially so far in the last like after the 50% mark, that I've been like, oh my god, like literally like I can't believe that this is happening, I can't believe this is happening, and like have gasped audibly while sitting on the couch when Ryan's like playing a video game. So it's been very interesting. Again, the first like 40 or 50% was a little slow, but I see why now, because I didn't realize, like I just reread the synopsis, I didn't realize it was a psychological thriller, so I think that kind of like changes versus a murderer coming after you. Does that make sense? Anyway, that's what the book is about. So far, I think it's gonna be like a 4-star. We're gonna keep reading, we're gonna finish the book, and we'll see when we end up reading it. The author just referenced her own book in here, and that feels really cringy to me. I kinda hate that, I don't know why. Okay, I had to put a hat on because it's really sunny out, but I wanted to say I'm a little further in now. You guys know how in books, like, they will always make one character seem like, oh, that's clearly the crazy one, but then it always ends up being somebody else. So obviously we know that this is how books go. So they're clearly making one person be the crazy one, and I'm like trying to figure out who's actually the crazy one. I was between two characters, but one disappeared. So now I'm like, either he disappeared because something crazy is happening, or I don't know, I have an inkling that it's this other character, and I don't want to tell you guys who, obviously, but I don't know, like maybe it's her. It's really getting me thinking, so I'll definitely let you guys know if I end up being right or if I'm just completely off, because I'm really trying to figure out who it is. We don't know yet. I just took a quick lunch break and we're back now. I just closed all the windows because it is getting so hot today. I say that I took a lunch break and it's literally 10 a.m. because it's literally that hot. It's 80 degrees right now that I keep in my body. I keep getting tricked that it's way later than it actually is. So it's actually not at all late right now. We're going to have some water and continue reading. I am on chapter 30, I believe, and there's 38 chapters. So we're very close to finishing. We're on section 3 of the book now out of 3, and it's getting intense. There's a lot happening and I can't wait to see how it ends. Oh my god. Chapter 31 was just so intense. I kind of need a second. Oh my gosh. This book is so well written that I feel like I'm actually watching a movie. The way that the scenes play out is so insane. Also, I think that I was wrong. First of all, I made a prediction. My book club group uses the app Fable. You can have like your different chapters in here and like make notes. So around chapter, what was the last time I wrote something? Chapter 29, I made a prediction about something and I was wrong, which I'm glad about. But now I'm wondering, like I was telling you guys before, when there's like characters who you think are bad and so you're like, that clearly can't be the bad guy, so it must be this other person. Now I'm like questioning everything, because is it that person? Is it somebody else? And there's still somebody missing, so where did that person go? Oh my god, so much is happening. Ah! We have 7 chapters left of the book, so ooh boy, that was a lot. Okay, I just finished the book. I don't know how I feel about it. Between 40 and 70%, I was in there. Like 40 and 70% could have been a 5-star for me. But the beginning was slow, so then I was like, this is probably gonna be a 4-star book. But the ending, I don't know. I feel like there were some twists, I guess you could call them, but no like big twists about like who the bad person was. Like the whole time, the bad person that you expect it to be is the bad person. There are multiple times in the book where they do a good job of trying to make you second guess whether or not it actually is that person, but the whole time it actually is them. And then the ending had this like, and this is why I put twist in quotes, but a twist that felt so unnecessary and like, I don't know, it just felt like too buttoned up. Does that make sense? Like I just didn't like it. I felt like it was unnecessary and like it just didn't work for me. And then on top of it, they like really drove that point home with like additional evidence that made it feel like they just didn't trust the reader, truthfully. Like, because like if you have this like ambiguous ending, then it's like you can kind of like guess which direction the answer is, but you could also theorize that like other things can also be true. But then like the additional evidence just made it be like, nope, this is the only option, and like in case you didn't catch it the first time, this is the truth. And it just, yeah, it just was kind of disappointing. So I think like if I were someone who gave like half stars or quarter stars, I'd probably give it like a 3.5, but I don't. So I'm going to be giving it a 3-star. I'm actually kind of sad because again, like between 40 and 70% was like solid, but I don't know. It makes me like more and more nervous to read more of Ruth Ware's books because I feel like it's really just been hit or miss for me. You guys, I feel so much better. I did my workout. I feel so good after showering. It's about 2 p.m. now. I just ordered groceries as well. So they're supposed to be here around 3. Says that they're shopping right now for the groceries. So hopefully they will be here right at 3. I bought some salad things, but I was just getting ready and like showering the whole thing. And I was thinking more about the books that I want to read. And I was thinking more and I was like, you know what? I have been dying to read Emily Henry's book, so I'm just gonna get into it. I'm gonna read Funny Story, and I'm really hopeful that we're gonna be reading another 5-star. digging up. Okay, it is 6:30 now. I'm going to head over to the mall. I need to take a pause from reading because I have a few returns to make, but in the meantime, I'm going to continue listening to my audiobook. I've been considering listening to an audiobook for Kingdom of Ash, but I can't find one on any of the places that I listen. But I am gonna keep reading to the Running Wild audiobook. I have my headphones in. I'm gonna head over to the mall and we'll still get some reading time in. Good morning, you guys. Today is Sunday. I got a bunch of reading done this morning while I was just like chilling in bed, and it is 7:12 right now. I'm just getting ready to head off and go running with my running group. So I'm getting my shoes on and I'm gonna head out shortly. Today on my run, we're gonna listen to that, I forget what it's called, but Simple Wild series book, the last one in that series. We're gonna run 5 miles today. I think I got to chapter 9 in Happy Place, what's it called? Funny Story. I am loving it so far. I feel like I've heard so many reviews of people not really understanding why the main character Daphne likes Miles, or like how they possibly fall in love, because obviously it's romance, so like they're going to fall in love. But I feel like right from the get-go, like he has unattractive traits, but he is himself like so loving and caring, and like that's what makes him attractive. So I'm surprised that so many people felt that way, but I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. Obviously there's bound to be conflict. It is such a funny and like compelling story. It's like just such a different type of story where like your two exes get together. It's funny. I don't know how else to say it. And the two characters are like, their banter is hilarious, so I'm really liking it. But anyway, I'm gonna head out. I'm going to go fill up my water bottle. We're gonna go over to Lake Hollywood and we're gonna run. We're running a little early because it's getting really hot. Today's Father's Day, so we're going to be celebrating with Ryan's dad, and then obviously I'll call my dad. And then when we come back home, we'll do some more reading. We are back home. We ended up going to Ryan's parents' house for like a little brunch. Well, I did my 5 miles actually. No one in my running group ended up doing the 5 miles. It was basically this loop where you run out 3, come back 1 mile, and then 1 more mile back around. So I passed all of my friends when I was doing like my back mile for 4, and then as I was about to hit 5, I didn't see anybody, and I was like, what's happening? And then I got to the end and everyone was just hanging out there, and they're like, we decided we couldn't do 5, and I was like, what is happening? So they didn't finish it, but I did complete my 5, so that is good. Then we went over to Ryan's parents' house for some brunch. We had some Belgian waffles, so good. And then we just like hung out there for a while, and then we had lunch. And now I'm going to read some more. We're on chapter 9. Back to reading, and I will update you guys a little while later. Okay, it's like almost 7 o'clock now. It's like 6 something, I don't know. I got a pretty bad headache, so I took a pause from reading and I took a nap to let my medicine just kind of like sink in, and now I'm feeling a lot better. So I have some lemon tea here, non-caffeinated, and I'm going to continue reading my book. I didn't get super far because of the headache, but I'm still really enjoying it, and I feel like some crazy things are happening right now in the book. It's not, I don't even know how to describe it because there's no like good tropes for this book. It's not quite enemies to lovers, but definitely like the male character is telling the female character that he enjoys her company. So I feel like it's like a fun time in romance novels where you're like, ooh, like he's confessing something. So I'm gonna keep reading and learn more about what happens next, and I'm feeling a lot more energized after the nap. So we're gonna keep going at it. Okay, I just made it to chapter 10, and I'm kind of thinking like we are a solid 100 pages into this book. I think there's only 300 and something pages, so over 25% of the way through, and I am wondering what is going to go wrong in this book because everything already seems to be clicking with my two main characters. So I'm like, what's the conflict, I guess? And I mean, like, they're just getting along. I feel like it's just a slow realization of the romantic feelings, but I feel like a lot of it is, I don't know, I'm just wondering, like, it's definitely not like other Emily Henry books where it's like almost like enemies to lovers, which I realize now that I've sort of expected from Emily Henry, because I feel like almost every single one of her books are that way. So when it's not, then I'm like, where's the conflict? But also I kind of love it. Like, I'm obsessed with these two characters. I don't know, but we're gonna keep reading. I've been enjoying it a lot so far, but I really want to know what's going to happen next. We have like 7 hours left of this book, so I certainly won't be able to finish it tonight, but I still feel like I can get through a good chunk of it. So I'll make sure to keep you guys updated as far as I possibly can. You guys, I'm absolutely devouring this book. I'm already almost at the 50% mark. It's so good. My God, there is tension, but it's not the type of tension that I normally get from an Emily Henry book. So I think I'm actually really liking it, because even though before I was saying like I'm used to like a enemies to lovers type trope from her romance novels, so like this is very different. First I was a little like, where's the tension? Still loving it though. Now I'm seeing it and I'm obsessed. I love these characters. I love the storyline. Also, they're just like so funny and I love it. So I'm gonna keep reading, but it is already 9 o'clock and I usually go to bed kind of early because I wake up early. So I'm gonna start heading to bed. This was supposed to be more of like a weekend reading vlog, but I really feel like I can't leave you guys hanging as to how I'm liking the book. So I'm gonna check in with you guys tomorrow. Hopefully I finish the book by then, but we'll see. I'll check in with you guys because I want to give you my final thoughts. Good morning, you guys. It's the next day. Don't mind the fact that I'm wearing another black shirt. Like, I guess this is my only wardrobe, my uniform right now, but I made it to chapter 20 of my book and I didn't obviously get to read too much last night because I went to sleep, and then this morning I've been getting ready, but I've been trying to read here and there and I only have 4 hours left of the book and it's getting so good. Like, there's just enough conflict where it's keeping me excited, but also like seems like it's staying true to like who I believe the characters to be, or like what makes sense for these characters, which is important. But we got to, in each chapter basically it says like X amount of days until I can leave. So for example, on chapter 17 it says that it's Saturday, June 29th, and that's 49 days until she can leave. And that's because basically the main character wants to leave the town that she's in, but she's set up this readathon at the library that she works at, so she feels like she has to see that out or see that through. But on chapter 20 it says 44 days until I could leave if I still want to, and I feel like she like is really enjoying the main guy. So there's a lot happening with these characters. I am so intrigued because I still have like 40% left of the book, so much has to be happening in that last 40% if like this much has happened. And I feel like this is why I like Emily Henry's writing so much, is because she does a perfect mix of making me care about the characters but not over explaining everything to the point where it's like a 1,000-page book, but I'm so invested and I care so deeply about each of them that like I feel like I know them, but it's only like under 400-page book. So I'm obsessed, but I have to start getting logged on for work, so I will probably read some more during my lunch break. Gonna go get logged on and I will check in with you guys once I read some more, like have more thoughts on the book. Today has been unexpectedly a chaotic day, so I didn't get to read during my lunch break because I didn't really get a lunch break today, but I did get off a little bit early because of the lack of lunch break, so that's good. But I was reading a little bit and I wanted to update you guys because I'm currently on chapter 26, so I'm about 70% of the way through now, and I have 2.5 hours left of reading to finish this book. Honestly, I'm probably gonna end up finishing tomorrow just based off of like how quickly I'm reading right now, but wanted to update you guys because I was realizing some things about this book. In the past with other Emily Henry books, I feel like the book has been a romance and like maybe the character learns a little bit something about themselves, so on and so forth. But with other romance novels, it's like strictly romance. Like that's kind of all you're getting out of it. With Happy Place and this book, I realized that it's so much deeper than the romance. Like the reason why at the beginning of this book I was like, where is the conflict? I realized it's just like internal conflict with the main character, which I'm actually really enjoying. It's like really about looking into yourself and like digging a little deeper as to like who you are with people in your life, without people in your life, or like, I don't know, like the friends that you make, so on and so forth. So I've actually been really enjoying the story behind, like the meaning of the story, I guess you can say. I don't know, I just feel like it like makes you think a lot about yourself too. So I'm going to read as much as I possibly can. I want to go to bed at a decent time because I do have to like be out of the house by a certain time since I'm going to work at a friend's house. I'm gonna go read and I want to give you guys my final thoughts before I sign off on this video. So I will check in with you guys once I've actually finished the book because it should only take me like 2 more hours. Good morning, you guys. It's a couple days later and I realized I forgot to update you that I finished Funny Story. I ended up giving it 5 stars, which is exactly what I was anticipating. I feel like I always give Emily Henry's books 5 stars. I was so glued to this book and it was so different from the expectations that I had for it. I had purposefully not looked anywhere on social media for anything about this book, and all I knew was the dynamic of the main character, the female main character, and the male main character having both of their partners pair up. So I thought that it was going to be a little different, but it was different from my expectations in a really good way. And I felt like it didn't follow too many tropes that you see on social media, which was really nice. So it was really just like something unexpected. There's always bound to be some sort of conflict between these new pairings, and I felt like the conflict actually made a lot of sense. The resolution I feel like could have been fleshed out a little bit more, or like maybe explained a little bit more, because I feel like there was a lot of forgiveness just right off the bat, but also it's a romance novel, so it is what it is. But overall, I was so excited to read it and so happy that I got to read it already. Like finally, I had been waiting since April and I can't believe that I actually like restrained myself for this long. But the good news is I think because I didn't have any more expectations of other books, like I've been dying to read Funny Story, and so because of that being out of the way now, I actually got back into Kingdom of Ash, and I'm glad I took the break that I did from it because now it's getting really good. I'm actually like really excited to read it, and I feel like I got past a lot of like the boring setup, not boring, but like the setup that's not as fun to read as like the action. So I got past that, took a break, and now I'm into like the really fun parts. So I am very excited to continue reading that. I still plan on finishing that by end of the month, and we'll be actually done with that series, which is so crazy. That's all I have for you guys today though, so thank you so much for watching and reading with me. Feel free to leave in the comments down below what you guys are currently reading or any suggestions of books that you'd like to see me read, because I always love your guys' suggestions. And otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.